It's 16 minutes past 6. How do you find out if buildings are insulated or not? It's a big issue in combating climate change. Well, Dom's here with a new way to find out and all the rest of the business news.
Yes, good morning, Sarah. The answer is, or well, it might be, a satellite that will also perhaps let you spy on your neighbours. Did they insulate the loft or not? A British company is launching the first commercial thermal imaging satellites. We'll talk to the boss of that company in a minute. Also this morning, one of the co-founders of Netflix on the future of streaming services. Surprisingly, he thinks Disney is doing well. And we'll have a reshuffle of the FTSE 100 this week. Who might be in, who might be out. First, so how do you track emissions from buildings? Well, a British company is launching satellites with infrared cameras on them. The first one will go up with Elon Musk's SpaceX next year. It's called Satellite View. I spoke to its founder and chief executive, Anthony Baker. I asked him first to explain just how the satellites would work.
Our satellites have a unique thermal camera that can detect the heat from any building on the planet. And this has one great use. We can find out where in the world we're wasting all the energy, which buildings are emitting the most, and we can direct people to go and fix them and get closer to net zero.
Who do you think is going to buy the satellite time, the images that your satellite produces? Who are your clients?
So the big clients we're getting is everyone who's declaring net zero. So whether it's governments or municipalities, people that are prospecting for construction contracts, retrofitting buildings, or people that want to verify that a company that says it's green, and especially if it has overseas manufacturing, that they are as green as they're saying they are.
Not just people who want to fix their buildings and stop them leaking heat, but also those who want to look at buildings to name and shame.
Exactly. People are buying into ESG-rated funds and people that are declaring, but there's no measurements going along. In the pandemic, we heard that we had to test. In the climate challenge, we need to measure, both to direct the funds to the worst problems, but also to keep people honest and transparent. And the difference between infrared and what you might see on Google on the optical is we get an inference of what's going on inside the building from the thermal output.
Your first satellite goes up next year. How many do you need in the sky in order to provide coverage to all your main markets? I suppose you're not talking about global coverage, but a big chunk of the planet.
One satellite can actually cover the whole world, but it doesn't come back that often. So you might have 1 or 2 visits a day of 200, 300 different sites. In order to get the revisit rate up higher and to have a greater capacity so we can revisit many targets and cities, we're looking at 7 initial satellites. So in about 3 years' time.
So I want to check if my neighbour has really put in their roof insulation like they said they had. How much will it cost me to buy, say, a quarter of an hour on your satellite to take pictures of my neighbour's roof?
So this is a great change in the value proposition as well. So one image will take 16 square kilometres of a city where there might be thousands of buildings. And that would only cost you sort of £300 or £400 for the whole image. So if we were to break that down into a street level, it would be very affordable for everybody to check on their own house and maybe the place they work or the place they shop.
And quite affordable, in your early example, for a council to check out a particular suburb or street. That's entirely within the realms of possibility.
You need one image, but better, and the differential that we have is that you can image throughout the day. So you would take images at night, the busy hours, quiet times, maybe at the weekends, and build up a picture of the pattern of life.
What's your ambition for the company? A lot of UK companies that have a high-tech solution to a problem or a new idea end up getting bought often by larger American companies. Is that part of your plan?
Not at this point. We're a UK company based in Surrey. We've got employees all over the country, including Scotland. We're financed by British venture capital. The satellite's built in Surrey. All the components, most of the components are built in the UK. So, we're really a British entity through and through, and we're ahead of the world. So we're going to take best advantage of that.
That was Anthony Baker of Satellite View.